There's something about places that are at the end of the road. There's just something magical about driving across that number 4 bridge and seeing that vista of shallow water and little dotted islands and seeing the horizon in the distance. There's something about the smell and the air, the way the air moves. There's a magic about it. It's hard to describe, but anybody who's ever experienced it understands it. It's welcoming. It's just, you know you're home when you cross that bridge.
Cedar Key, it's a small town that relies on fishing, clamming, and then tourism. It's really 60 miles to get here. It's the city in the middle of nowhere.
It's like a slice of old Florida. It's almost like a little time capsule, you know, how things were years ago.
The people here appreciate the uniqueness of this place, that there's not, you know, chain fast food restaurants, that the hotels here are locally owned, that the restaurants are locally owned businesses.
It's a pretty close-knit community of people who all just are drawn to the water.
It's just a small fishing town where people were involved, everybody's involved in the commerce in the community. And I've often told people that if anything ever bad happens in your life, this is the place you want to be. Because if something bad happens, everybody comes out of the woodwork to do whatever they can to help you. It might even be people that you don't know.
Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Hermine intensified overnight in the Gulf of Mexico and now could be the first hurricane to strike Florida in 11 years.
I can honestly say that going through Hurricane Hermine in 2016 has been, because it's still continuing, has been the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life.
The difference in Hermine was it hit right on spring tides, right on the strongest tides, and right on high tide. And everything just lined itself up for the maximum amount of damage.
Hurricanes, usually when they come through here, we get the storms and we get some water, but nothing like Hermine. In here, it literally came in and just seeped up through the floors.
It flooded a lot of homes and businesses, and that was really heart-wrenching for me because I don't know, just you watch people lose everything and it hurts.
The next morning after that storm, I don't think I'll ever forget it. You know, by noon the next day, there were members of the community were out hauling wood out of the mangroves and already rebuilding, and everyone just started picking it up. I mean, it just, you know, there was not even any real discussion about it.
We opened the door and said, what are we going to do? We have all this food and all this coffee, and everybody in town was walking around dazed. We just rolled everything outside and offered free coffee and food to all the locals because they had no access to clean water because all the water had been shut down in town.
We had whole football teams show up. They were just like, what can we do? I mean, they were going to people's houses and raking their yards and picking up debris, helping them sweep mud out of their living room. I mean, literally buses showed up.
The damage and the devastation was so overwhelming that you didn't think about yourself. You thought about the town as a whole. You go down and say, are you all right? Are you all right? How can we help you? And that's where it went. There was no, I didn't see from a single person any me. It was, what can I do for you?
The people here are very resilient. They have experienced over time, in the last 100 years or more, a lot of changes in hurricanes and storms and flooding and economic challenges with the net ban, and they have managed to survive, and they have a great attitude.
I think the people in Cedar Key kind of roll with the punches, you know. bounce back and give it their best again. Pull together and help each other and just recreate this little place that we love.
There are a lot of people here that have been through a lot of really negative things, and people just get up and keep on going. Cedar Key is the most resilient community, and we work on that. We have to.
We're going to be all right when it's all said and done. I mean, we might have to go through a lot of pain to get there, but we're going to be okay here as a community. We will still be here.
I remember when our children were little, our youngest daughter, we would have gone out of town for something or another, but we would be coming down 24, and as we get to the first bridge, number 4 bridge, and it opens up and you see the salt water everywhere. As we would come over that bridge, she would just throw her arms in the air and say, "I'm free."